Welcome to Composer's Voice, and it's great for you to come to New York. This is your third set of 15 Minutes of Fame. Been collaborating with you for a long time now.
Yeah, was the first one in 2015 or something like that? Yeah,
that would be about right. So you actually started out when Composer's Voice was a chamber concert series.
Mm-hmm.
We had curators that would come in and curate chamber concerts we were producing them over at Jan Hus, and that was where we brought in David Wolfson, and he brought you in for 15 Minutes of Fame.
I'm David Wolfson. I'm the guest curator of today's concert. Composer's Voice is affiliated with Vox Novus and Jan Hus Church. They do these concerts about twice a month, give or take. And we always start out with 15 minutes of fame, and 15 one-minute pieces created especially for this occasion. This one features my old friend, Andrew White.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you do it?
Okay, well, I am a professor of voice at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and before that I was centered in Cleveland, and I got all my degrees from the Cleveland Institute of Music, and when I graduated from there, I devoted myself to the Cleveland music scene, and did numerous recitals of songs of Cleveland composers, past and present. And so I was singing a lot of contemporary music, but also historical, composers from Cleveland that a lot of people had long forgotten about. And so if you go to my YouTube channel, shameless plug, you can hear recordings of composers like Arthur Shepard and Herbert L. Well and James H. Rogers. These are Cleveland composers whose works were frequently sung in their day, but have sort of since been forgotten, and they're wonderful songs.
Fiddlers had good Queen Bess to play her music as she did dress. Behind an arras of horse and hounds she sate them scraping delights and sound. Spangled, bejeweled her skirts, would she draw her petticoat of cramoisine. a yellow wood. And sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step and trodden black. Oh, I kept the thirst for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere, ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
anyhow, and then of course, lots of contemporary composers. And then I got a position at the University of Nebraska at Kearney after I finished my doctorate. Ever since then, I've sort of expanded. I had a good friend here in New York who knew Rob Voisey. He had me do one of his song cycles in New York, and so these guys got a chance to hear me, and they invited me to do 15 Minutes of Fame, and the rest is history. So since then, we've been experimenting with the idea of voice and accompaniment, and whether or not it really has to be, just voice and piano, the traditional art song, it can be, of course, but then it can be other things too. We experimented with having me do some a cappella, having me do some singing with simple instruments that I can accompany myself on, little percussion instruments or hand clapping and foot stomping and that sort of thing. The first one of our 15 Minutes of Fame was of that variety. It was almost all that and also some a cappella.
The clock strikes one that just struck two. Some schism in the song. A vagabond for Genesis has wrecked the pendulum.
Then we started to experiment with the idea, as this is particularly true during COVID, of singing with a track, which is we call it fixed media, but the composer then produces as well as the score, they produce a track, an accompaniment track, and some of the composers would basically do a traditional accompaniment that's computer generated. There's so many wonderful sampled sounds these days on a computer that you can get a pretty authentic sound for most instruments, especially the piano, actually, I think. So we were getting pieces that were traditional art songs, but just made with a track, and then maybe with different instruments, and then some with odd instrument combinations that would never ordinarily go together because they wouldn't balance each other. But with a track you can make that work. And then of course synthesized sounds, that are sampled. All kinds of things become possible in a track.
Raise one more toast before you go. Before you consuming. It is an oath taken with time, and with time this growth takes over the heart and the mind. It consumes the well-being. One is often exalted for being consumed by growth in time.
And the first one of these was not a 15 Minutes of Fame. It was a longer program of longer works, and many of them were of this variety. They were more traditional instruments that were used with a computer, and then including some other kinds of sounds.
Some say it was a pear evade. Why else the shape of the moon? Or of the cello, whose single song is grief for the parent tree. Why else the fruit itself, tawny and sweet, which lover of a breakfast lets go your pear-shaped breast to reach for.
But then we decided to do one that would be all soundscapes, and that's the last thing that we did, which was the accompaniments were not to be traditional instruments. They were all, computer generated or sampled sounds that were, creating an environment in which the vocal line could live that was not really like a traditional accompaniment.
The next piece is by called Requiem a Voce Sola, which is Requiem for Solo Voice, by Carlotta Ferrari, who is an Italian composer. And it takes the basic Requiem text, a song for asking God to accept souls into the next life. Luce, 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 credetur votum.
And now this last time, we just sort of opened it up and said, you know, it can be whatever you want. And so I ended up selecting pieces that were either a cappella or with a track. And there were some that were ambient, soundscapes, and some that were traditional instruments. There was one that was a string quartet. There was one that was a piano accompaniment. And so through this process, we've sort of come full circle and explored lots of different possibilities for how the voice can be accompanied, and it's been a marvelous journey.
Koianus Scazzi, we can't eat monkey, lest taxis honking, more birds singing, Ganges river, pure water drinking, let mother breathe, adopt a tree. Let mother breathe, adopt a tree. Let mother breathe, adopt a tree. There is nothing of which we are apt to be so lavish as of time, about which we ought to be more solicitous, since without it we can do nothing in this world. Time is what we want most, but what, alas, we use worst, and for which God will certainly, most strictly reckon with us, when time shall be